Ed Worley joining us from California Night, NRA ILA's California State Liaison. Ed, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good 2013 to you guys.
Yes, Happy New Year. And, look, just like as we've seen all around the country, California is no exception. Gun shows are packed. Gun owners are concerned. We saw reports out of Ontario, California,
Yeah,
perhaps as many as 14,000 people
yeah,
attending a gun show over there this weekend, Ed.
yeah. It was crazy. Our we had a great bunch of volunteers as we always do, manning the NRA booth at the front gate, and they signed up over 600 NRA members, new NRA members over the weekend.
Wow. That's incredible.
So,
And that's good because this means that folks are getting politically active as well.
well, exactly, and that's the biggest thing is that we have, as always in every state, the politicians who, after some kind of crime takes place, they all run to the TV cameras trying to propose their latest gun control schemes. So, they made their announcements here the same way. So, what's going on is gun sales are going crazy, ammo sales are going crazy, membership's going crazy, and it's just, you go to any of the gun shops anywhere in California, and they're selling firearms like crazy. I mean, there's lines of people to go through the waiting period and everything else. So it's amazing that people downtown at the Capitol think that they can just propose this stuff and there's not going to be any reaction to it. People
Well,
aren't ready to defend themselves or make sure they get what they need to get. So
absolutely. And, we talked on Friday's program, we mentioned this on tonight's program. I think it was CBS Los Angeles actually pointed out, just like in the state of Virginia, gun sales have increased, more than doubled actually over the past 10 years in California. At
yeah,
the same time, fire-related injuries and fire-related crime is down in the state of California, Ed.
yeah, and that's the amazing thing is that you talk about the Ed Eagle program and the success of our programs and all the safety programs that we do. Accidents are down in a lot of areas. Crime is down in some areas. And the amazing thing is, I've heard that the number they're talking about is last year in California there were about 625,000 firearms that went through the dealers for background checks and stuff. What I've heard is that because of all the hype of the anti-gunners, that as of January 1st, it was over 1 million firearms were sold in California.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's every gun store, every gun shop I went to, there were lines of guys buying stuff, getting ready for the background checks. They're buying the AR-15 type rifles because, of course, Leland Yee's coming out with another bill to try to ban AR-15s again. He's already made that announcement. There's no text in the bill yet. So he's going to try to do that game again. There's a legislator out here from the Berkeley, Oakland area named Nancy Skinner. She's going to try to regulate ammunition sales and register ammunition purchases and make a registry of ammunition purchases. So that's that bill they're talking about doing. That's AB 48. And then, of course, our good friend Senator DeLeon, who did the ammo registration bill some years ago that we defeated in court, he's talking about reintroducing yet another bill to try to do it. And it's very similar to Skinner's bill. And so he's introduced that bill. So what's happened is everywhere you go, trying to buy ammo, you can't buy any ammo. So his SB 53 is a bill he's just introduced, and they're talking about that you have to get a permit to buy ammunition. So it's amazing to me how the stuff has never worked in the past, and it's just sort of like nothing's changed over the years.
Well,
Like they think just ban guns and ban this, and that's going to take care of whatever problems that are out there.
yeah, and again, ignoring the not just the evidence to the contrary, but the incontrovertible facts to the
Yeah.
contrary. I mean, that's it's amazing. We've had, if you want to go back to the Gun Control Act of 1968, we have had plenty of localities in this country adopt strict gun control regimes that have been in place for decades now. If they were going to work, would have some inkling of their success by now, Ed, wouldn't we?
Well, that's the whole thing. Is that it's it's the old adage that said, if you keep trying the same thing and and you get the same results, that you're crazy. If you keep doing that. But part of it is that a lot of the stuff they don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about all the different sociological and cultural issues that are being discussed here. They don't want to talk about the failures in the current system of stuff they already created. But any good government bureaucrat thinks that the way you fix any problem is you create more government bureaucracy, and you get more and you take away more and more people's rights.
Yeah.
So I don't think for some people in the legislature, I don't think they know of any other kind of thought process or solution. Their whole idea is no matter what happens, there has to be a governmental solution to it. No matter what happens, you have to take away people's freedom, that you have to make people more dependent, that you have to do all these games. And it's sort of a bankrupt ideology where they keep trying to do the same thing over and over and over again. And, it's amazing, but it's a sad fact that politicians are politicians. And they don't want to go out and do the stuff in the community that it takes, mentoring and things like that. They don't, that's not what they're into because there's no press behind that. They would rather go out and, run a stampede to the TV cameras when something happens and say, I've got the solution. Let's just do what I want to do.
Right.
And I'm sure it's the same thing all across the United States where, these politicians running the TV cameras with the next latest, greatest, gun ban or some way to restrict our rights or restrict our freedoms.
Yeah, and and Ed, I mean, I know California gun owners have to be concerned with the makeup of the legislature this year. What is your advice right now? I mean, do they need to be getting on a first name basis with their state reps and state senators?
Oh yeah. Well, what's happened is because of term limits, we've had the largest turnover in the legislature since probably in close to 100 years. Over 50% of the assembly members are now new assembly members.
Wow.
So what you have a huge turnover in legislators. Some of them, they're all brand new. Over 50%, over 40 of them are brand new legislators. So as these bills come out and as things happen, our members' council guys who do the gun shows and do all kinds of other programs, they were the ones that did the gun show this weekend. So they were passing out information already about the new proposed gun bills and who they should contact and who they should call. But you're right. What people need to do is, as we get the new legislators' information up on our website, our calenary.com and our NRA headquarters website, now is the time to start calling them and really making a point to let these new legislators know that there's a huge number of NRA members in California, that we're not going to put up with it, and then we're going to fight tooth and nail no matter what happens. But also, we're going to be introducing pro-gun bills. We're going to be reintroducing our bills for waiting period reduction. So we're not just going to sit back. We're going to be introducing bills that go in the opposite direction. So that's the thing we always have to do. But, of course, the biggest thing and the best thing is our members doing all the things they do, which is great, which is calling, email, faxing, and writing their legislators. And it's even more important this year with all the new members who've never been through the drill at the Capitol.
Absolutely, because they're going to be getting a message from the media that, Californians want this. Californians are clamoring for this. They're demanding these types of common sense reforms. And so these legislators need to walk into the office every morning saying, what is the news talking about? This is not what I'm hearing from my constituents.
Well, see, that's what's helped us in the past, too. As I keep trying to tell our members as I go up and down the state to gun clubs and gun stores and talking to our members, is they're the most important, they're the key piece in all of this. Because them emailing, calling, and faxing legislators last year had a huge effect in defeating SB 249. Because when legislators' phones were melting and everything was going crazy, and all these staffers and stuff were having to talk to our members over and over and over again, that did have a chilling effect on what happened at the legislature. And you're absolutely right. A lot of them, we still have our budget problems in California. That hasn't been fixed at all. Mm-hmm. There's still a lot of other problems going on in California because of the economy. So I think the legislators are going to have a lot of stuff on their plate, and I think a lot of them are not going to want to play with this stuff.
Yeah, I hope that you're right, Ed. But I have a feeling that there will still be enough folks to try to keep you busy, and I know that we'll be staying in touch regularly.
Oh yeah.
Now, when does the legislature actually kick off in earnest, and do you expect more bills to be filed throughout
Yeah.
the month?
Yeah. Well, basically, they were sworn in December, but basically today we were down there. They're everybody's getting in the groove of stuff. They have until the 25th of this month to sort of get bills assigned, and then they have until late next month to get the bills in print. So there's going to be a little bit of time before we really start seeing a lot of the bills really drafted. The bills I talked to you about earlier, those are not in their final form. So if people go to the website, they're going to say, well, but there's nothing in the bill. That's right. It's just a placeholder bill right now. So we'll be seeing a lot of the language here in the next month or so to come. But that's going to give everybody the time to, find out who the new legislator is, to confirm that, and to start calling, email, writing, the faxing, and getting the word out to all the gun clubs and all the guys in, the IDPA leagues or the cowboy shooting match leagues, and wherever they're going with their families and stuff. So things will get geared up. You can never underestimate the number of silly bills we have here in California, because it's unfortunately my native state is a little crazy sometimes when it comes to this stuff.
I've noticed that over the years, Ed.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah, but look, I mean, again, clear evidence the gun owners are still there in California.
Well, absolutely. I think the funny thing is I heard it on the local radio show. It's called KNX, like a news radio program. They were just amazed that many people showed up at the Ontario Gun Show. That the line was around the corner, and they're like shocked that this many people down in LA are going to the gun shows and stuff. It's amazing how many people in the media are sort of isolated away from everyday people and everyday life and what's going on. They're sort of set aside in this area, and they went out and talked to a lot of our members at the gun show, and they go, "Well, why are you here?" Well, because Senator Feinstein talking about doing this, or Senator Skinner talking about doing that. We're going to get our stuff, and we're going to fight. And it's amazing to me how they just think that they can just think they're going to do this, and there's not going to be any reaction from people, and people aren't going to be mad, people aren't going to be angry, and they're not going to be motivated. But they're going to be in for a really bad surprise as we start getting geared up this year in California about how many NRA members are going to be active. I think a lot of the new legislators are going to be very, very surprised on how many phone calls, emails, and faxes they get. And because I don't think a lot of them just understand the dynamics in California.
Yeah.
We have some politics, but we also have a lot of very, very dedicated NRA members in our gun clubs and our members council program and in the gun shop. So we have a lot of very good people, very motivated people.
All right. Well, listen, Ed, appreciate you coming on the program tonight, sir, and look forward to talking to you again very, very soon.
Okay, take care. I'll talk to you later on.